So how should you price your work, and what's that price that you should put there for you to be able to cover all the costs of doing business? So where do you draw the line, and should you go into a price war? And of course, you want to be able to get that customer right and you don't want to lose them. So how do you begin? So hi guys, my name is Tippy and welcome back to our YouTube channel. And today we will be sharing with you some tips on how you can price your work. So when I was a business student back in college, I always wondered, what will I be doing? And my course then was all about math and business, but in my heart, I really love doing art. So today we will be sharing with you what we've learned through the years as a design and multimedia team and now with an online shop. How to price your work. This has always been going around in various circles that we've joined, from illustration, calligraphy, workshop, blogging, watercolor, crafting, photography, and videography. And I know it may have cost you some heartaches to have traversed this topic, to have gone through this topic. How do you put a price on something that you love? And how do you choose between earning and doing what you really love? So it can be really challenging for you to communicate this to your client, or it may be challenging to bargain for a better price, right? Even if it's something that you love, you know that it really takes time. Alright, before we begin, we'd like to thank PayMaya for making this segment possible. And of course, we will be sharing with you more tips later on how you can grow and expand your business. Of course, we want you guys to be able to make the most out of your time with the help of PayMaya. As you will see in the next points, we will be mentioning it over and over. Time is a very important resource. And so, PayMaya will be able to help us with our transactions, especially now they're mostly online. Alright, since you're watching this video, it definitely means that you have a business. So don't forget to register it on enterprise.paymaya.com and visit their payment gateway. And then you know that you can actually enjoy lower rates versus competitors with no monthly fees and zero setup costs. So how do you put a price on your work? First, let's talk about passion versus burnout. Alright, so very often people think that, if a person is doing something that he or she really loves, then there's no price for that because, it's just a hobby. And a lot of our businesses are hobbies, and we find so much joy in the work that we do to the point that we can't really stop thinking about artworks, potential projects, palettes, styles, a new method or material that we'd like to try. However, the truth is, even if we love doing something, there is a limit to it. Ultimately, we need to rest in between, and the bills are constant. So we really need to be able to take care of our pricing. Second, I wanted to bring this up. It's handmade versus mass-produced products. So what are these mass-produced items? Well, these are actually done in a large scale. If you're competing with a mass-produced product, chances are you won't be able to compete with them because, economies of scale comes into play. And that will definitely bring their prices down. But here you are, you're offering something handcrafted, handmade, custom-made for your client. And so that's different. There's only one of whatever it is that you're working on. And it's definitely going to cost more than something that is readily available. All right, number 3 is time. It's our most important resource. We should ask why first. Like, why? Why should we do it? And of course, you would want to keep on receiving work because we want to keep our business afloat. So, number 1 why would probably be, okay, just for the sake of business. But of course, you don't want to only do that for the sake of business. You'd want to still be happy while you're working. And while some things can be challenging at work, of course, no work environment is perfect. It's really hard to work on something that is against your will. Also, whatever number of hours, days, weeks, or months you have to spend on your work, it will always cost something. And more than money, you know what? It's time. Before, when I was younger, it was easier for me to sell my time. But it really, really dawned on me on how precious time is when I had to visit my dad in the hospital. And I was also raising my baby. I really had to force rank everything. I realized that whatever I do, I won't be able to turn back time. And so these days, I've invested in a small team to be able to buy time. And so the time that we spend doing work, as much as, we enjoy it, it's also time away from me time. And it's also time away from fostering relationships with our family and friends. I actually feel that I wrote this paragraph for myself. Time doing work that is also incorrectly priced. It's also time away from being able to entertain and serve clients who know how to value our work ultimately. This is why, we're always on the lookout on how we can shorten our workflow, how we can be more efficient as a team. And that's one of the reasons why we actually have the PayMaya checkout plugin for shop.googlyGooeys.com. And did you know that if you actually shop on shop.googlyGooeys.com, you will now be able to check out using PayMaya. And with PayMaya checkout plugin, our customers can pay for their purchases seamlessly and hassle-free directly on our website. Yay! And so they have the freedom to pay with either Visa, MasterCard, JCB credit, debit, and prepaid cards, so that's a lot, and e-wallets too, including PayMaya QR, WeChat Pay, and GCash. So one of the ways by which you can put a price on your product is by scanning the market. So then you ask yourself, like, did I want to offer my products at a low price, or did I want to offer my products at a higher price, like premium materials, premium service, higher cost, higher price? The advantage of this is that you get to see how you're faring. But of course, the disadvantage of this is that if there is a price war in short, in Filipino, it's nagpapababaan lahat ng presyo. And so the entire industry loses. Like, no one is really earning. Even if there's a price war, it's really your decision to put the right price for your business so that, you're looking at long term. So you're not just looking at short term. I know at this point you continue to ask, okay, so you have given me some parameters on how I can start with my pricing, but like, where do I really begin? This is a peg, so if you don't really know where to start, you can gauge like how much did you want to earn in a day. So if you really don't have the number, please don't let it be lower than the minimum wage. Or you can also peg your desired income on how long you had to work on the project based on a daily rate. Now, let's talk about top line versus bottom line. Top line means gross sales, like ilan yung nabenta mo o magkano yung nabenta mo. So then you have to deduct, of course, labor, materials, electricity, internet, transportation, marketing and promotion expense, taxes / accountant fees, and then interest if the money that you're using for your business is actually on loan. And the bottom line is your net revenue. And from the businesses that I've worked for, bottom line is very, very important. It's very critical. Top line always sounds good, but as a team, you always look at the bottom line to see if the project is still worth your time. Okay, next, let's talk about hidden costs. I just feel that these are the aspects that are usually taken for granted when one goes into business. First, let's talk about depreciation. For example, you use your laptop and you bought it at a certain amount. Well, on a daily basis, you won't really notice the amount that you've spent for your gadgets, right? There's this concept called depreciation expense. X years from now, when your machine or your gadget is old, you have to be able to have the funds to replace it. So as my dad would always say, you have to look at the long term. Second one, sunk costs. People tend to write off some things. Whatever I do, whether or not I work at home or not, I will still continue to pay for my electricity, my rent, my juice, my internet, and you tend to forget to charge that to your business. Charging is always beyond computing for labor and materials. If you really want to try to go into business, there's so much that you have to take care of. I know that after this video, you will find yourself looking at your price list, and I know you might want to revise it, but what's really important? It's important that you start. So more than being a planner, it's really important that you're a doer. And speaking of, to help you with your online business, you can trust PayMaya Checkout Solution for seamless acceptance of cashless payments. And of course, PayMaya also offers available plugins for businesses, if you're using e-commerce platforms or e-commerce sites such as Shopify or WooCommerce. And for those who have yet to set up their own e-commerce sites, PayMaya provides easy-to-use digital invoicing solutions using payment links. So it saves you time and it saves us time too. And did you know that aside from being able to use PayMaya on our shop, you can also use the PayMaya digital QR, which you can use for physical shops, online shops, messaging apps, and this will enable you to reach millions of PayMaya users. And aside from these payment solutions, your customers can also enjoy the cashback rewards that PayMaya offers. Alright, that was a mouthful, so thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. So thank you so much also for PayMaya for hosting this segment. Again, I'm Tippy from Team GooglyGooeys, and you will also find us on Instagram, on TikTok, and on YouTube. Again, thank you so much for watching, and if you have suggestions, just put them in the comment section below. And see you next time. Bye-bye!